Alright, we are back. Welcome to video number 2 of the strategy guide for Violet Wisteria. Today we're going to take on stages 3 and 4. I can't remember at what point I had made the last video, but basically in the first patch for the game, I added the new difficulty level, practice, or maybe practice was already there, but so I made it so you can, there's a stage select if you're playing on practice mode. So you can choose stages that you've been to up until then if you're playing on practice mode. So that's how we're going to get to stage 3. Otherwise, it's 5 lives and infinite continues on practice mode. It's going to be basically what we would have seen on hyper easy mode, more or less anyways, so it's not important. So let's get straight to it. And again, we'll just skip the cutscenes because we're interested in gameplay. So stage 3, you've come out from the wormhole and you are now going to Earth, but I guess the wormhole was kind of far up in the air, so first you have to fall back down to the ground. So these little electric guys are going to come out from the sides for a little while here. So yeah, we have a little non-platforming area in the beginning, and then we have some rubble. It's going to come up from the bottom. Just be careful. Easier than shattering glass, right? Okay, so those are gone, and now we're going to get a few of these little goat heads from the side. Now you do have to catch them before they shoot, at least the ones that are on your level. Otherwise, obviously you can't jump, can't get around them. The lasers, if they shoot the laser, you know. So then you just gotta squeeze your way through this little cliff. I guess if you'd call it a cliff if you want, I'm not sure. There's a little trick here. It's gonna be, you won't figure it out the first time, but there's an enemy there. You have to use him because the opening to the second one is far off to the side. Okay, I believe that is the entire falling section. Alright, so we're on Earth, and it's not looking so good, as you can see. So we're going to have to progress up this little mountain, barren mountain, and we've got these nasty little wraiths. They'll stop and shoot every couple seconds. There's a stage in Valis 1, the Sega Genesis version in particular, that highly influenced this stage, in case you can't notice it. So as usual, yes, everything is more or less stolen from Valis. Now, you might kill this guy not thinking about it, but actually you need him to bounce across this. So enemies that you need, you know, to bounce somewhere, they will reappear. Him. Okay. Alright, nice. So we've got a little power up. And that will do 2 hits of damage instead of 1, so it kills the bigger guys in 1 hit. Alright, so now we've got these little dogs from hell, and they will jump over you if they get close. So the best way to kill them is to kind of jump up with them. But that also means, of course, you have to judge the color pretty quickly, which is tough. So you could let them go over you once, as also an option. How dare you? Like that. That's also possible. So there's one thing I should mention that also patched in this game. A lot of people had been having trouble kind of with jumping off of ledges, and it was a problem with where I had the character's hitbox placed on the running animation. So it should actually be a lot less common to fall off the edge of something when you're running. As you can see, I've got quite a bit more time, so it doesn't feel like you've pressed the jump button and just fell off and nothing happened. Ugh. It's not so good. Uh-oh. Oh, got you. Okay, so that's done, and now we are going to have some lava coming up from the bottom. Just got to get to the next ledge as quickly as possible. There's a little extra life there, so definitely grab that if you can. Gotta jump there, and then you have to use this. There's just not enough time otherwise. You have to bounce up off these things. And then we use that enemy to bounce across there. That is how you get to the other side fast enough without taking damage. Now, in the last section of this stage, we've got these big skeletons that chase after you. They can't be killed. They can only be stopped. And every time after you hit them, they will change color. However, one thing that you can do is just use the same color and bounce off them as usual. You just have to be careful because, you know, there's the magma coming from above and some pits. So generally I just freeze them to be safe. Just a little bit of climbing here. Yes, they will come indefinitely. Yeah, this is definitely easier than the original version that I had. It was a little nuts. Still tough though. Definitely still some challenges here. So what you're gonna want to do here, and there's a perfect timing. Let's see if I can do it. Now, there we go. That's how you get across that last little hole. I mean, there's another way to do it, but whatever. So here we have the boss. This is Butalion. Buta means pig in Japanese. It's a little play on words. So he's blue, so we're going to use red. Only his stomach takes damage. And there's a few different sword attacks he does. So when he ducks, he's going to do it high, and when he stands, he's going to do it low. Which is a little tricky, and then you got to get out of the way of the rubble that falls from the top, but then his sword will come up from below you. I'm telling you guys, man, it is hard to play a video game and talk at the same time. I'm getting my ass killed here. This is horrible. Oh. So you have to move out of the way because the swords are going to come up from below. Maybe you saw. Oh, that was nice. I mean, you can also duck under that. You just have to kind of get in the perfect position. Just kind of close to him, but not too close. And I think once we get his HP down a ways, he's going to start moving faster, and then he'll only do one attack in between jumps. I see a lot of people trying to stand in between those spears. You should definitely duck. Makes it a lot easier. Okay, so he's done. Alright, we're just going to skip that. Here we are, stage 4. So now we're heading towards Citadel Castle. This is where, supposedly, the person who's in charge of the Dark World's operation on Earth resides. So we're still outside at the moment. Some cool little missiles coming down in the background for fun, but they don't damage you. Alright, so these guys also take 2 hits like the big Minotaurs, but they'll toss an axe every few seconds, every few steps. Got him though. So yeah, you can see really it's a lot easier to jump off ledges now while you're running. See, we have way more time. So it's a lot better now. Wish I had caught that before I initially released the game. But anyways. Okay, so now we're inside the castle here, as you can see. So we do have some hammers. What are the enemies that are kind of like that in Mario? I don't even know what their names are. I think there's a name for them. Some people think these eye platforms are going to attack them or something. That they're just platforms. Dare you. Die. Get out of my face. This section is actually quite a hurdle for some people. It's... Whoops. Even though, you know, the dodging those little, you know, the big hammers is not difficult per se. I think it's just, you know, I'm not sure why it's so challenging, but it is challenging. It was hard for me actually even when I made it. I think it's just because these guys will keep coming indefinitely, up to 3 of them once you get to a certain point in the section. We're already here. Okay, so you got to use one of these guys to bounce across. It was almost good timing. It's a little tough, but unfortunately, this is only like half the stage. You know what? There's a secret over here somewhere. There it is. There's a secret power-up. So let's just get that. Jam through these guys. Think about what color we're using. Get him with one hit. There we go. So anyway, so this is kind of a major vertical platforming section where you really have to get good at using the bounce. And it is sometimes using the blocks, but then we're going to have to use enemies as well, as you can see. So this is definitely a sort of a bit of a spike in the skill that it's going to demand. Like, we have to bounce up off 2 enemies back to back to get up here. And then also moving enemies as well. So this is definitely a challenging section. I'm sure, hopefully some of you guys, if you love Valis, you recognize what these things in the background are references to. Hopefully I don't get sued into oblivion for this. I mean, this game is so small scale that I don't think it matters. But yeah, they were sort of like these studios that Telenet, you know, had in-house that weren't exactly like individual companies per se. You know, they were just supposedly, you know, groups who were making, you know, the games together. But, you know, the games that came out, you know, for example, like from Lasersoft per se, are so drastically different. And the games by Riot, it's like, it's hard for me to believe that it was actually all the same group of people. And there's also a secret life refill item there that you should definitely get if you need it. And there's an extra life here also, because it's a tough stage. So this is quite challenging. So we have to bounce off him, bounce off. Ugh. Telling you, it's hard to talk and do this at the same time. 2, 3, 4, and that blue bounce, the timing is different, so it is tough. And finally, we have an elevator here. You just hit this with any color attack that you want. Hit that switch, and then you start moving. I don't know how people can talk and play games at the same time. So we just have just a few enemies to clear at first. Whoa. Whoa. You. Okay. Don't get caught under those things, or yes, you will die. It's not very nice. Okay. Alright, and there we go. Good. We have one of these little sweethearts fall from the top. So we have this thing fall, and the reason why is because we've got these battering rams coming in from the side. We have to use this to jump over them, and we got from both sides. Lucky, got it just in time. And we're at the boss. All right, we're at Von Copper. All right. So this guy is actually also quite tricky. He has several forms. So first we're going to hit him in the air, and you do have to hit him with white in the air, which is quite challenging. You know, uh-oh. I think I screwed up. Yeah. That dive will get you. not careful. Oh, all right. There we go. So you can do up to 2 dives at first, and then he's gonna do this. There's some randomness to it, but he won't do more than 2 dives in a row. So that's sort of a little hint you can use. All right. So once his power is down a ways, he'll start shooting these things at you. You have to reflect them back. And I highly recommend sliding after hitting the first one. I see people trying to do all these weird techniques, and this is far and away the easiest way to do it. Alright, so now it's the final form. The horns are going to take a color, so you have to kill the horns first. And then you can hit him, and he's still red, so you have to use white on him. But first you get the horns off, and then he's dizzy. Got a lot of white. Okay, so there you have it. That is Von Copper. Okay, so that is all of stage 3 and 4. Hopefully that video helped you get some strategies for getting through those, because the game does get more and more challenging as you go on, even though some people probably think that stages 1 and 2 themselves are extremely hard, and they are to an extent, but it can be done. It's really just about being able to react to the colors very quickly, is really by and large, the trick to getting good at it, and that it just takes a lot of practice. I think I had the color hints off. I'm pretty sure I almost never used them, but keep those on. Yeah, I guess I did, because they're off right now. So thanks for checking out the video. I'm sorry such a long time passed from the first one. I've just got so much stuff going on right now. But I will definitely do 5 and 6 next. So for the people who've been working on Violet Wisteria, trying to make some progress, thank you very much. Look forward to the next video. Take care and happy gaming.